Convention Center. Today, it's Mid-American Conference Gymnastics action as the Golden Flashes welcome the Chippewas of Central Michigan University. Hello once again, Flashes fans, family, and friends. I am Michael Elkins along with my partner and former KSU standout gymnast, Shannon Simmons. We thank you for joining us this afternoon on a very solemn afternoon here in Kent, Ohio. As you heard the familiar voice, the public address announcing voice of Jeff Kurtz just a moment ago, asking for a moment of silence as the Kent community in the gymnastics world has lost truly a gem in the passing away of Trudy Bachna. He was more than a coach at Kent State. And Shannon, my partner here this afternoon, has more on the life and legacy of Coach Rudy Bachna. Shannon.
Yes, thanks, Mike. Rudy was definitely the patriarch of not only Kent State gymnastics, but of the entire sport. As we heard, he started this program back in 1959, and he built the program by coaching and teaching and mentoring many of the student athletes that walked through the halls of the phys ed department in the 1960s and 70s and 80s and 90s. He was well known for his dedication to athletics. He created a program called Gymnastics in Motion, and that was an annual showcase to the sport, and that drew thousands of spectators. He would travel the country and direct summer camps and clinics and competitions. His enthusiasm was contagious, and the quality of the sport can be directly traced back to Rudy Bachna's roots. The gymnasts that he coached, they went on to open all of the local private gyms that now train the current athletes that are on the team. And when I went through the roster, it's true, I saw more than half of the athletes on Kent State's team were coached by clubs that were athletes of Rudy's themselves. So gyms like Gymnastics World and Youngstown Gymnastics Center, All Around Gymnastics, Olympic Dreams, Flights, Elite, Sunrise, Great Lakes, and many more programs were founded by athletes who were trained by Rudy. And everyone you talk to has a Rudy story, and I'm no exception. I got to share with you a little bit earlier that both my parents were recruited here to Kent State to do gymnastics back in the 60s. And literally they never would have met, and I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for Rudy Bachna. So it's been fun today to share those stories, and I'm sure we'll continue to do that as the competition goes on. But I know that when we walked into the MAC Center today, the feeling was different, and it's light and it's bright in here, and the gymnasts are excited, and it's going to be a great competition.
Thank you, Shannon. And she is absolutely correct. When we walked in here just a little more than an hour ago, there was electricity here in the MAC Center. Much different than perhaps the feeling that we had on Wednesday afternoon. And certainly I think you can feel that Rudy's presence might just be here this afternoon, Shannon.
Yeah, the sun is shining. It's a bright day outside. And, he lived to be 93. And I think that everyone that came across him, their life is brighter because they knew Rudy.
Well, as a former student here of Kent State University, had Rudy in a couple of classes. And when Jeff Kurtz, the public address announcer, mentioned a few minutes ago he loved people, he truly did love people. But right now we're going to get back to work as we talk about this afternoon's matchup between Kent State and Central Michigan. The Golden Flashers, they enter tonight's meet at 3-6 overall, 2-2 in the Mid-American Conference, but they have an NQS score coming into this week's competition of 194.925. Now that placed them number 32 in the country. Before the Western Michigan meet, we haven't calculated those numbers from that particular meet, but the Golden Flashes certainly did help their NQS score, scoring a team high for the season in that loss to Western Michigan. Now the Chippewas, they're 2-2 on the season. Their two losses have both been on the road at Ball State and Western Michigan. They defeated Bowling Green 2 weeks ago at BG and defeated NIU at home last weekend. Now the Central Michigan, that win last weekend, they posted a season-high score of more than 196. And this Chippewas squad, folks, much like Kent State, has improved each week, posting new season-high team scores over the last couple of weeks. And Shannon, this should be yet another exciting MAC gymnastics matchup.
Yes, I think today is going to be a fun battle to watch. This is a long-standing rivalry between Kent State and Central Michigan gymnastics. And every time they compete against each other, both teams get better. They rise to the level of competition.
And again, Kent State coming off that impressive overall performance, but fell just 0.2 of a point shy, dropping Thursday afternoon's home meet to the defending MAC champion Western Michigan. The Flashes, however, they dominated on the floor as they have done all season long, posting a season high 49.475. The incredible performance by the Golden Flashes was the best score by a Kent State floor lineup since the 2018 season. 4 Golden Flashes finished inside the top 2, with Jade Brown taking home her second individual title of the day with a 9.925. She also won the bars competition on Thursday afternoon. Carly Franz, Abby Fletcher, and Tashi Richard all tied for second place with a score of 9.9. And Franz's score marked a new career high for the sophomore. Kent State, they started out on fire, setting a season high 48.925 on vault. Cammie Klein and Franz each scored season highs of 9.825 to finish tied for third place. And if there's an area this afternoon, Shannon, that the Golden Flashes have to redeem themselves on, it would be the bars.
Yes, they struggled last Thursday when the first 2 girls up on the event both suffered a fall. And so when they have only 6 girls in the lineup, they've got to count those top 5 scores. Every one of those scores needed to count. And when you have repeated mistakes like that, it's really hard to overcome.
As the teams warm up, Kent State on the vault, Central Michigan warming up over on the bars. We'll go through the lineups for you real quickly on the vault, as we want to make sure that the lineups have been finalized. It looks as though Kent State on vault, they'll be led off by Cammie Klein, Rachel DeCavich, Abby Fletcher, Carly Franz, Olivia Amade, and Sydney Chapman. Over on the bars for Central Michigan, Adriana Bustello, Sierra DeMarinis, Adriana Hammond, Kennedy Ray Johnson, Hannah Demers, Ashley Veglucci, and Sydney Williams. Now, gymnasts to watch this afternoon for Central Michigan on the bars, Hannah Demers. She's averaging 9.856 on the season with a high of 9.925. That is best in the Mid-American Conference. Also, Kennedy Ray Johnson over on the bars, the senior out of Cordova, Tennessee, averaging 9.79 with a high of 9.825, 5th in the MAC. And here is Cammie Klein for the Golden Flashes as we are set to get things going this afternoon. Kent State against Central Michigan.
Wow, Cammie opened this lineup with the Yurchenko full twist, stuck landing, and if that is any indication of what's going to happen in the MAC Center today, it's going to be good.
Cammie's best score of the season, 9.775, occurring right here at the MAC Center against Eastern Michigan several weeks ago. As we'll turn our attention now over to the bars, this is Adriana Bustello of Central Michigan.
Adriana mounts to the high bar, does a free hip right into a big Tkachev release move. Shoot over to the low bar. Giant full twist into a double back tuck dismount, stuck landing. She was a little off center on that giant full, but she recovered well.
Bustello's best on the bars this season, 9.775. That occurred twice, once against Ball State, another against Bowling Green. This is Rachel DeCavich now for the Golden Flashes on vault.
Rachel does the Yurchenko full twist as well, one step back on the landing. She is an all-arounder, so that's the beginning of all 4 events she's going to be competing in this afternoon.
Rachel season high, 9.775 on the vault this season. Yeah, you know, we talked about it earlier. The energy here is just building here between these 2 programs, 2 very storied programs in the Mid-American Conference. As I believe we're still waiting on the judges' score for Adriana Bustello. Sierra DeMarinis would be next for the Chippewas. Sierra with a career high of 9.775 on the bars, that occurring last weekend in that home meet, that home victory over Northern Illinois. Sierra, the junior out of Montgomery, Massachusetts. Looks as though it's a 9.525 is the score for Adriana Bustello of Central Michigan. Here is Sierra Demarinis.
Sierra mounts to the high bar, starts with a blind change right into a release move. Shoot over to handstand onto the low bar. Back to the high bar, front giant, and a toe on, toe off for her dismount. Stuck that landing.
Yeah, great dismount there by Sierra Demarinis for Kent State now. This is Abby Fletcher for the Golden Flashes. Abby currently 8th in the Mid-American Conference. She's got a season high of 9 point. Oh, I beg your pardon. Abby Fletcher, season high of 9.85.
Yes, Yurchenko full, nice landing. Abby gets great height off the table.
Abby, again, the senior out of Oradell, New Jersey, averaging 9.781 on the season. 9.85 again is the high. Puts her 4th in the Mid-American Conference in vault. And she has had a solid year.
She is so consistent. Meet in, meet out. She is performing on 3 events, and every time she's at the top of her game.
Love to see that senior leadership out of Abby Fletcher, and that leadership is contagious among your teammates.
Yeah, as you grow to be an upperclassman, you really are looked to for leadership, and not just in the gymnastics arena, but also in school and in life. And she has definitely shown her leadership skills this year.
Looked like a 9.775 is what the judges flashed, I believe, for Abby. Now for Central Michigan, this is Adriana Hammond on the bars. Adriana with a season high of 9.725, that occurring against Northern Illinois. She has a career high of 9.95 on the bar, so certainly has the potential of turning in extremely high scores for the Chippewas. Adriana, 3rd in this rotation for Central Michigan on the bars. As we'll get the score now for Sierra Demarinis, 9.675, is that correct? Yes. Score's not typical, Shannon, of a Central Michigan team on bars early on.
Yeah, we don't have the best angle to see the handstand, so I'm wondering if they might be a little bit short on their handstands and a little bit short on their connection bonus as well. You want to see a handstand that's within 10 degrees of vertical. Full in, back out, dismount, stack landing. That should be a better score.
Adriana Hammond, the sophomore out of Elk Rapids, Michigan. Here's Carly Franz now. Carly, the sophomore out of Marysville, Michigan.
Nice job. Carly Yurchenko full twist is another one in this lineup of consistent vaults.
Yeah, Carly with another example there of some great amplitude, was able to stick that landing. Maybe a little hop.
I think her heels left the mat, but not her toes. She was fighting for it.
Kennedy Ray Johnson would be next for Central Michigan. Kennedy, the senior out of Cordova, Tennessee. Kennedy with a season high of 9.825 on the bars. Career high on the bars, 9.9. By the way, that 9.825, again, against Northern Illinois. She recorded the 9.8 earlier this season at Western Michigan. Take a moment and mention our judges on the vault this afternoon, Laura Winters and Barbara Wright. And over on the bars, Tina Snyder and Laurel Sherman. Kennedy currently ranks 5th in the Mid-American Conference on the bars.
Kennedy mounted to the high bar. She did a giant full right into a Tkachev, but just missed her hands. She's going to take a break and chalk back up.
A mistake you don't typically see out of a senior, Shannon.
Yep, she's going to try to finish this routine. She's got a nice shoot over to a handstand on the low bar. Back up to the high bar. She does show a good handstand there. 2 giants. Half in, half out dismount. Little step on the landing.
Good finish for Kennedy, however. That will take our attention back over to the vault. This is Olivia Amade. Olivia, the sophomore out of Detroit, Michigan.
Wow, Yurchenko full twist, duck landing.
Kent State's dialed in this afternoon.
They are. You can see the energy and feel the energy in the room, and that each vault has kind of built on one another, and they are having a great first rotation.
Well, as we saw Thursday night against Western, Kent State opened up extremely well on the vault. They set a team high in terms of scoring for the Golden Flashes and then struggled on the bars. They've got to carry that momentum all the way through the entire meet.
Yep, take it one routine at a time and one skill at a time.
So they'll bring up Hannah Demers now over on the bars for Central Michigan. Hannah is just having a tremendous season. Hannah's season high 9.925 on the bars, that occurring at Bowling Green on the 5th of February. Her career high 9.95 on the bars. Here's Hannah Demers. Hannah also leads the Mid-American Conference in the all-around.
She mounts to the high bar, did a toe to hand. Wow, beautiful, huge Tkachev on top of the high bar. Shoot over to handstand. Back up to the high bar. Two strong giants, full and back out dismount. Little hop on her landing. But I can see why she's been leading the MAC this year on bars.
Yeah, another fun gymnast to watch. Hannah Demers of Central Michigan turning in thus far the strongest performance on bars for Central Michigan. That'll take us back over to the vault. And I believe we have Sydney Chapman. We weren't sure if there was going to be a lineup change. And Coach Bryce Biggin going to stick to what was submitted. This is Sydney Chapman for Kent State. Chapman, the senior out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia.
Yurchenko full twist, a little bit low with her chest on the landing, but a good vault.
Thus far, a great start for the Golden Flashes on the vault. Ashley Veglucci would be next for Central Michigan over on the bars. Beglucci, a season high of 1 on the bars. That against Western Michigan. Career high of 9.725. Again, Kent State with a team score of 48.925, team score Thursday afternoon on the vault. It's like a 9.7 vault score for the Golden Flashes. Sydney Chapman.
Giant half right into a Ginger. Down to a pack salto. Pulling back out, stuck landing on that dismount.
This will be Kennedy Winepart, the junior, I beg your pardon, the freshman out of Mentor, Ohio.
Kennedy also does the Yurchenko full twist. She does hers in a tuck position.
Nice vault by Kennedy. I believe we have 2 exhibitions now for Central Michigan. Over on the bars, Sydney Williams, followed by Brenna Hauser. Williams, a senior out of Germantown, Tennessee. Again, our judges this afternoon, Laura Winters, a national judge, level 10 judge Barbara Wright on vault. And on the bars, both national judges, Tina Snyder and Laurel Sherman. .9825 is the bar score for Ashley of Central Michigan. Sydney Williams.
Sydney mounts to the high bar, does a giant full into a Tkachev. They're getting a lot of height, but she just lost her momentum on the low bar. Blind full into a double back tuck. One step on her landing. That was a huge release move, and it just maybe was a little too much to carry the momentum over to the low bar.
You're right, though. The last 3 performers by Central, a lot of height on that release move.
Yeah, we're sitting way up here on the other side of the gym, and there's a large amount of space between the bar and the gymnast.
Yeah, typically, Shannon brings the point up. We haven't talked about it much here at Kent State. Typically, Shannon and I are on the floor, and we're much closer to the action. Due to the COVID protocols, we are in the bird's nest, so to speak, here at the Mack Center, and much greater distance away from the bars, where otherwise we would have a much greater improved angle.
Yeah, to be able to see those handstands where the judges are sitting, they obviously have the proper view that they need to score these routines. But we've got our own little space up here. We've got plexiglass in between us, dividing us, and following all the COVID protocols.
Brenna Hauser is a sophomore out of Westfield, Indiana. She would be next on bars in an exhibition for Central Michigan.
straddle over the low bar, toe to hand on the high bar, right into her release move. Oh, missed her hands there.
Shannon, is that a release too soon when you're not able to come back and hit the bar, grab the bar?
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Or if, you have this extra adrenaline that you come to the meets with, and sometimes that creates a little more amplitude and your timing is a little bit off. And so when you reach for it, it's not where you expect it to be or where you're used to feeling it. Nice shoot over to handstand. Two giants, double layout dismount. She did let go of that bar a little bit early and landed short there.
Well, that'll wrap up the first rotation of competition here this afternoon in the Mack Center. Kent State Golden Flashes and Chippewas of Central Michigan University. Kent State will move on over to the bars, and Central over to the vault. Shannon and I are going to step away for just a moment, and we'll be right back with you. With some of the pregame activities, pre-meet activities honoring Rudy Bachna, we passed over review of this afternoon's head coaches for the Golden Flashes of Kent State. Of course, it's head coach Bryce Biggin in his 32nd year, assisted by Craig Ballard and Sharon Sabin. For Central Michigan, Christine McDonald, the head coach. She is assisted by Don Holton and Christine Clements. Coach McDonald is a former Central Michigan gymnast and longtime assistant coach. Christine McDonald, she is in her second season as the Chippewas head coach. A student athlete there from 1988 to 91, and then served as a student coach in 1992. For team scores after that first rotation, Shannon, on bars, Central Michigan with a team score of 48.725. For the Golden Flashes on vault, 48.95.
Yeah, so we're off to a good start. It's a good competition. Moving into the second event, we're going to want to see Kent State improve on their routines from last week, and Central is getting ready for some big vaults.
Yeah, Central is a very good vaulting team. Let's go through the individual scores, starting first with Central Michigan. On the bars, Adriana Hammond with a 9.85, Hannah Demers with a 9.85, Ashley Viglucci with a 9.825, Sierra Demarinis with a 9.675, Adriana Bustello with a 9.525, Kennedy Ray Johnson with a 9.125. Again, that is a team score of 48.725 for Central Michigan. For the Golden Flashes on vault, Cammie Klein with a 9.825, Olivia Amadei with a 9.825, Carly Franz with a 9.8, Abby Fletcher with a 9.775, Rachel DeCavich with a 9.725, and Sydney Chapman with a 9.7. Again, that's a team score of 48.95. And Shannon, the Golden Flashes bested their season high mark from Thursday night by a quarter of a tenth of a point.
Yeah, they're looking today to break that 196 mark. And in order to do that, you've got to average a team score of 49 on each event. So they're very close to that in this leadoff event, and we'll see what happens next.
We'll take a look at the lineup now for Central Michigan on vault. They'll be led off by Kennedy Ray Johnson, followed by Elizabeth Cicerone, Sydney Williams, Sierra Demarinis, Katie Kowalski, Hannah Demers, and Nora Fettinger. For the Golden Flashes on bars, they'll be led off by Olivia Amadei, Madison Iannuzo, Carly Franz, Jade Brown, who, by the way, turned in a spectacular bar routine Thursday afternoon. We thought it could have been a 9.95 or a 10. Ended up being a 9.9 and a season high for Jade Brown. Following Jade would be Rachel DeCavich, then Sarah Haxton, and Madison Trott. So this is where Kent State has that opportunity, Shannon, to really create some additional distance here with Central Michigan.
Yes, they do have the difficulty that they need to get the 10-0 start value on this event. So it's just a matter of refining all the things that they've been practicing on all week.
So again, we had mentioned that Central Michigan is an extremely talented vaulting group. They are led by Hannah Demers, again, the sophomore out of Canton, Michigan. She's averaging a 9.825 on the vault with a season high of 9.85. That places her first in the Mid-American Conference in the vault competition. Also, a vaulter to watch is Katie Kowalski, the freshman out of Freeland, Michigan. She's averaging 9.806 with a high of 9.9, and that places her third in the Mid-American Conference in vault. Over on the bars, it's for the Golden Flashes, Rachel DeCavich, the sophomore out of Champion, Ohio. She's averaging 9.82 with a season high of 9.875. That places her fourth in the Mid-American Conference. Madison Iannuzzo, the junior out of Carmel, Indiana, averaging 9.787 with a high of 9.825, places her sixth in the Mid-American Conference. And of course, you've got to be excited about the little powder keg in Jade Brown and see what she brings this afternoon.
Yes, she's so fun to watch on the uneven bars. Huge release moves, big dismount, and great handstands.
As we are now wrapping up the warm-up period, we'll turn our attention now over to the vault. And this is Kennedy Ray Johnson leading things off for the Chippewas. Kennedy Ray with a career high of 9.825, that occurring against Northern Illinois last weekend.
Katie does a Yurchenko full twist, stuck landing.
Now Central Michigan off to a great start. That's a great vault. Stuck landing, as you said. And again, this is the best vaulting team in the Mid-American Conference. Olivia Amade struggled a little bit Thursday. Boy, I expect her to turn in a fantastic routine, Shannon.
Yes, she's going to try to redeem herself, especially on this release move that she's got right at the beginning. She mounts to the high bar, into a giant full. Big Tkachev, great catch. Shoot over to a beautiful handstand today. Giant full twist, strong shoulders, double back tuck.
Nice.
Nice job. That's got to feel better than the one she did on Thursday.
Good start for the Golden Flashes over there on vault. Turn our attention now over to Elizabeth Cesarone on vault for Central Michigan.
Elizabeth with Yurchenko full twist, little hop, and just a little bit off to the left side on her landing.
Cesarone is a freshman out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Career high score 9.85 on the vault. That occurred against Northern Illinois. So Central Michigan with two good vaults to start things off in the second rotation for them. For the Golden Flashes, they're going to turn to Madison Iannuzzo on the uneven bars. Iannuzzo with a 9.825 as a season high. That occurred twice. We've not yet seen the best vaulters on this Chippewa team. Hannah Demers and Katie Kowalski. Looking forward to each of their vaults. For the Golden Flashes, as mentioned, gymnasts to watch, Rachel DeCavich, Jade Brown, and now Madison Iannuzzo. .9.825 on the bar routine for Olivia Amade. Maddie, the junior out of Carmel, Indiana.
Maddie jumps to the high bar, handstand right into a Tkachev. Toe to hand on the high bar, right into a shoot over. Nice handstand there. Right into another toe to hand. That's a great connection for some extra bonus. Back up to the high bar. Two strong giants to build her momentum into this dismount, which is a double layout and a stick.
Nice lines on the handstand, Shannon, as well.
Yeah, she's another one that struggled on Thursday, and so I'm sure she came into today being aggressive and wanting to really hit a great bar routine for the Golden Flashes.
This is Sydney Williams now, the senior out of Germantown, Tennessee.
Yurchenko full twist, great height in the air, little hop forward, but she looks happy with that vault.
Sydney Williams career high in vault 9.925. She's only competed in vault, Sydney, once this season. That was back on January 24th at Ball State. Carly Franz would be next for Kent State over on the bars. Carly Franz with a 9.9 Thursday afternoon for Kent State on the bars, looking to continue that success. Golden Flashes are getting a quick look at the scores, and it proves to be a good one. 9.825 for Maddie Iannuzzo of the Golden Flashes.
Carly mounts to the high bar. She does a clear hip right into a ginger. Good catch. Shoot over to the low bar. Carly's got a great handstand. Two strong giants into her dismount here, which is a double layout and a stuck landing. Now that bar lineup is looking much, much better.
Yeah, it looks like a typical Kent State bar lineup. They've swung really nice from the bars all year long. Have struggled the last couple of weeks, but boy, they're turning in a great performance thus far this afternoon with some of the heavy swingers yet to come. Sierra DeMarinis.
Yurchenko full twist, big landing. That was a nice vault.
DeMarinis with a career high 9.875 on the vault, season high at 9.775. That occurring at Western Michigan back on January 31st. Next up for Kent State, Jade Brown, a grad student. Boy, how fortunate it is for Bryce Biggin and the rest of the Golden Flashes to have Jade return this year.
Yes, she would have typically finished her senior season last year, which got cut short by COVID, and Jade has chosen to go on to pursue her master's degree. So she actually had an extra year of eligibility from an injury and was able to come back and compete again this year. She starts this routine off with a clear hip right into a Tkachev. Switches her grip. She's going to do a front giant into a transition to the low bar with a shoot over to the handstand. Lots of difficulty packed in this routine. Nails that handstand. Two strong giants into a big dismount, double layout, and she shows off that stuck landing.
Little powder keg of dynamite in Jade Brown, turning in another fine performance for Kent State. Over on the bars, here's Katie Kowalski, the third ranked vaulter in the Mid-American Conference. Season high of 9.9.
Katie also lays out a Yurchenko full, and she sure makes that landing look easy. It was soft and looked like she could spot the floor, see it coming, and really stick it.
So Kowalski with a great vault, and Central Michigan performing very, very well on the vault, as you would expect. As we turn our attention back over to the bars, this will be Rachel DeCavich. Again, we had already mentioned that Rachel is fourth in the Mid-American Conference in the bars, averaging 9.82 on the season with a season high of 9.875. DeCavich will be followed by Sarah Haxton. Next up for Central Michigan is Hannah Demers on vault. As we await the scores for Jade Brown's bar routine, we should get those numbers here flashed momentarily. 9.825 is the Jade Brown performance. Here's the sophomore, Rachel.
Difficult release moves where she just goes up to the high bar and back to the low bar with a pack salto right in a row. Beautiful handstand on the pirouette on the low bar. Perfect handstand on the high bar, really gaining momentum into her dismount, which is a double layout. She had open hips, great position in the air, and another stuck landing.
Oh, that might be Rachel's best bar routine, Shannon, of the season.
She's really starting to gain some confidence in just the little details of really hitting the handstands and spending a lot of time just getting that perfect position in the air.
Here's Hannah Demers.
Yurchenko laid out full twist. Another one of those vaults that kind of tends to float. Really lots of height off of the table. Lots of time to see the landing.
Central Michigan excited about the vault from Hannah. Hannah's been consistent all season long on vaults, 9.85, 9.825, 9.8. Again, career high was 9.9. We'll see what the judges bring forth at this moment. And Kent State jumping up and down as they get a preview of the score for Rachel DeCavich's.
Cheering, but we can't see it yet. 9.9.
That is a season high for Rachel DeCavich on the bars at 9.9. This is Sarah Haxton now for Kent State. Haxton, the freshman out of Fortville, Indiana.
Sarah mounts to the high bar. Nice handstand, blind change right into her release move. Oh. She got both hands on and just not quite enough to really grab it.
Sarah will regroup, rechalk. Some assistance from head coach Bryce Biggin to the high bar.
Beautiful lines on her giants and a big dismount. Just seemed a little off today. Hopefully she'll be able to get that back.
Here's Nora Fettinger for Central Michigan now on vault. Kent State will see Madison Trott next on bars.
Nora Yurchenko full twist. Little bit low with her chest on her landing, but she is doing an exhibition routine, so her score will not count for the team score.
Madison Trott for the Golden Flashes. Junior out of New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. we knew coming in this was going to be a tight matchup between both Kent State, Central Michigan. Both programs improving week in and week out, as one would expect in this gymnastics season. And, we had a chance earlier this season to talk with Bryce Biggin about I wouldn't call it the complications, but there's more focus because of the COVID-19 protocols in place. Some girls having to miss some practice. So focus is extremely important.
Yeah, as a student athlete, you have to pay a lot of attention to what you do outside of the gym. Usually you're in practice for maybe 3 or 4 hours of the day. But what you do the rest of the day, the rest of those 20 hours that you're not in the gym, becomes really important to your performance. And I'd imagine in a COVID year, it would be even more important. Who you're with, who you're around, where you spend your time affects how you perform on competition day.
As we await the score of Sarah Haxton's bar performance, unfortunate fall for Sarah, as I think we're going to have a conference now as the judges are going to meet. Well, while we have a moment, any other Rudy stories that you wanted to share with us, Shannon?
We got to hear a few just before the competition started today, and what I like most about Rudy is that he wasn't just a coach in the gym, but he was a friend and a mentor to a lot of people. And when we were speaking with assistant coach Jose, he was telling us how just out of college he drove this car that was not safe and wasn't very functional, and Rudy was able to co-sign a loan to get him a new car. He wouldn't allow him to drive the one that was beat up and dangerous, and so Rudy took him to the car dealership and actually helped him sign the papers to get a new car. And so, the way that a coach really, I think, becomes a great coach is because they not just teach you the skills that you need to know to perform well, but to lead you in life. And Rudy was certainly that for a lot of people.
And Jose actually mentioned the dealership, and when he had mentioned Rudy's name as a co-signer, the dealership, it's a deal.
It's a deal.
I mean, Rudy had that kind of reputation and respect in the community that he earned that, obviously. But what a great loss for the Kent community, and a great story that Jose will carry with him forever. What a gift of kindness Rudy had for other people.
Yeah, and to teach Jose the importance of making payments and building your credit, and probably threatening him nicely that he better make his payments.
Well, the judges have concluded their conversation, and it looks like we'll get back to action here once they show the score. I believe they will. There it goes. Looks like 8-5, 7-5.
Bounce to the high bar. Giant line change right into her release move and connected to a shoot over. That creates the extra bonus that they need to get to the 10-0 start value. Back to the high bar. Two strong giants. Double layout dismount. A little short on her landing, but she stayed on her feet.
Well, that'll wrap things up after the second rotation. We are halfway through this Mid-American Conference meet between these two storied programs, Kent State and Central Michigan. Shannon and I, we're going to step aside for just a moment, and we'll be back with all of the numbers after rotation number 2. Now we'll take a look at the numbers now after the second rotation. Central Michigan with a team score of 97.975. The Golden Flashes, a team score of 98.125. On vault for Central Michigan, a team score of 49.15. Individual scores, Elizabeth Cesarone with a 9.775. Sierra Demarinis. Beg your pardon, as my screen just refreshed on me. Well, we've got some technical difficulties here as my screen is having some trouble in refreshing. So again, team score is 98.125 Kent State, Central Michigan 97.875, and Shannon, for the Golden Flashes, they set a new team high on the bars with a team score of 49.175.
Yeah, that's great to see. We're about halfway through this competition right now, and if they can keep on this pace, it's going to be a record-breaking day.
Kent State will move over to the beam, Central Michigan to the floor. When we were down talking with Coach Jose and Coach Bryce earlier, I got a sense of there were some Rudyisms that that are popular among the athletes and the coaches. Do you care to share any of those with us?
There's a lot. There's a Rudy Bachman song, which I will not sing for you today. There's a song about him. There are, a lot of coaching and technique things that he used to do. He would say that your performance was directly related to how much time you spent in a handstand, and so lots of time upside down and knowing where your body is in the air. Gosh, there's so many. I remember as a kid, he had lost several of his fingers, and he had this little joke that he would blow into the part of his thumb and pretend to pump up his bicep. So he was a very strong guy. He was bodybuilding into his 80s, and so he was able to flex his bicep in such a way that it looked like he was actually pumping it up with air blowing through his thumb.
I remember that as a student. Was not shy to let you know that he was missing a few digits, and I was impressed with how strong he was despite all of that.
Sure.
Just an inspiration.
Yeah, a lot of weight training and Olympic lifting you have to do by gripping the bar, and he did that without fingers on one hand.
We're going to try and get our stats page repaired. Seems to be a problem, I think, Shannon, with the link. We'll get that repaired and bring the numbers to our listeners and viewers here this afternoon. For Central Michigan on the floor, gymnast to watch is Sierra DeMarinis, the junior out of Montgomery, Massachusetts. She's ranked third in the Mid-American Conference on the floor, averaging 9.869 with a season high of 9.95. For Kent State, over on the beam, it's been misconsistency all year long. Abby Fletcher averaging 9.715 on the beam with a high of 9.9. And that places her 8th in the Mid-American Conference. Again, that was coming into this week. Kent State on the beam, Samantha Henry will get things started, followed by Riley Danielson, Jackie Harker, Sarah Haxton, Cammie Klein, Abby Fletcher, and then Kennedy Weinpert. For Central Michigan on the floor exercise, Ashley Veglucci will start things off for the Chippewas, followed by Nora Fettinger, Sydney Williams, Hannah Demers, Taylor Pitchell, and Sierra DeMarinis. Now, Taylor was the Mid-American Conference Specialist of the Week coming into this week, recognized for her performance over Northern Illinois University. In other Mid-American Conference action this weekend, on Friday night at Bowling Green, Ball State remains undefeated. They defeated the Falcons 195.55 to 193.25. And at Northern Illinois in DeKalb, Illinois, Eastern Michigan topped the Huskies 195.15 to 194.825. And in Kalamazoo, Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan are battling this afternoon. And here, Kent State with a slight lead over Central Michigan.
And while we have another minute, let's talk for a second about this pink meat. So the pink meat is a way to bring awareness to breast cancer, and Kent State Gymnastics has teamed up with former alumni Chrissy Slam, who is a surgeon down in Columbus, and all the proceeds that come from funds that are raised by selling T-shirts and promoting this event would go to COSA Cares, which is a foundation that's set up to help people with breast cancer.
Yeah, typically they've got raffle baskets here at the Mack Center. There's a large crowd on hand to support that very important cause, and boy, things have changed here in the last year.
Yes, they're still doing the T-shirts. The T-shirts are available for purchase on KentStateSports.com, and you can purchase one of those online and be able to support COSA Cares that way.
Quick rundown of Kent State scores on bars. Olivia Amade with a 9.825. Jade Brown, 9.825. Rachel DeCavich with a 9.9. Carly Franz, 9.8. Sarah Haxton, 8.675 in that unfortunate fall. And Madison Iannusa with a 9.825. Nonetheless, Kent State with a team season best of 49.175 on the bars. This is Samantha Henry now on beam for the Golden Flashes.
Sam does a hitch kick right into a front salto, into another jump. Getting ready for her tumbling, which is back handspring, layout, step out. Oh, her foot slid off the side, so she's going to have to take a fall there.
Yeah, an unfortunate fall for Samantha, the junior out of Hershey, PA.
She does a hitch kick into a gainer full dismount. So she looked confident up there, but that one little slip of her foot after her layout step out is going to be a big deduction.
On the beam, Kent State third in the Mid-American Conference, Central Michigan sixth in the conference. Central Michigan is second in the conference on floor. This is Ashley Viglucci.
Ashley starts with the front handspring double full.
Ashley with a 9.875 is her career high. That occurred this year against Western Michigan.
A 2.5 twist right into a punch front.
Ashley just a sophomore out of Coram, New York.
You can tell she's got great twisting abilities. She started her routine with a double full turn, and she really knows where she is in the air when she's twisting.
This competition may come down to the floor exercise, Shannon, as you look at how things are starting to unfold here early on. Kent State will look to Rachel DeCavich. I'm sorry, Riley Danielson to pick up Samantha Henry on the beam.
Yes, they do get to throw out their weakest score, so we're going to hope to throw out that 9.3 from Samantha Henry. Riley's going to get up here, and she's got gorgeous toe point, lots of really nice dance elements, splitting elements, and some big tumbling. She starts with the back handspring layout, step out. It was a very solid landing there. That required full turn element. Very nice. Front salto into a split jump.
Riley, the junior out of St. Bonifacius, Minnesota.
This is where we see the nice split. She does 2 switch leg leaps right in a row. Watch this. Riley does back handspring, layout, step out, right into a full twist off the end, stuck landing. I would say that's her best routine of the season.
That's a great pick-me-up by Riley Danielson, the junior. Turn our attention now over to the floor. And this is Nora Fettinger. Nora with a season high of 9.75. That occurred against Western Michigan. She's got a career high of 9.875 on the floor. Fettinger, the senior out of Hemlock, Michigan.
Nora opens with a 2.5 twist right into a front tuck. Second pass, round off back handspring, 1.5 to a punch front layout. So we've seen lots of twisting from Central Michigan on the floor exercise. Finishes with a nice double back tuck.
Nora Fettinger for Central Michigan. Head back over to the balance beam. This is Jackie Harker now for the Golden Flashes. Harker, the sophomore out of Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown Gymnastics Center. Looks like a 9.825 was the score for Riley Danielson on the beam.
Does a front salto right into her back handspring, so she's moving in 2 different directions for that tumbling series. Beautiful full turn. That's a gorgeous front flip. Called because you've got to land just on 1 foot. Switch leg leap into a straddle quarter. Jackie's going to finish this routine with a gainer pike off the end and a stuck landing. She's going to be happy with that one.
Jackie Harker, the sophomore out of Youngstown, putting together a great beam performance for the Golden Flashes. Here is Sydney Williams now on floor for Central Michigan. Williams' career highs at 9.9.
Sydney's first tumbling pass, double back pike. Lots of airtime on that one. Second pass, front twisting, right into a front layout.
Kent State excited over the score that was just flashed. And it's coming up, 9.85, I believe. Yes, 9.85 on the beam for Jackie Harker for Kent State.
Sydney's last pass, double back tuck. Really hard to do at the end of a long routine. Got to have a lot of endurance, a lot of strength for that.
So that will bring up for Kent State, Sarah Haxton over on the beam.
Sarah cartwheels up onto the beam for her mount, and then she goes right into that front tumbling. It was a really solid start for her routine. And she goes back handspring, lay out, step out with a perfectly solid landing there. Switch leg leap, back tuck.
Solid landing again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the combination there provides a little bit extra bonus so that she can get to that 10-0 start value that she needs. Split jump into a split three-quarter.
Looking confident.
Punch front full. Little step there to turn on her dismount, but I think they've been able to do the last three routines with really good quality and good difficulty. So these scores were going to reflect both of those things.
This is Hannah Demers now on floor for Central Michigan.
Hannah starts with a front handspring right into a double full twist. It's a blind landing and her feet slipped out just from underneath her there.
Yeah, it looked like she might have landed on her heels and feet slipped out from underneath her.
Yep. Goes right into a double back pike. Lots of amplitude. Beautiful body position in the middle of that.
Kent State cheering the scores again.
Looks like they're trying to break some records down there.
9.875 is the beam score.
Hannah's getting ready for her last tumbling pass. Punch front layout right into a Rudy, which is a 1.5 twist.
Unfortunate slip by Hannah early on in that routine. Otherwise solid by Hannah Demers. The sophomore again out of Canton, Michigan. The leader in the all-around in the Mid-American Conference. Now this will bring Cammie Klein to the beam for Kent State. 9.875 for Sarah Haxton on the beam.
Cammie opens with a back handspring layout, step out. She lost some pressure in her front foot there, but she was able to fight, stay up on the beam. Switch leg leap into a straddle three-quarter. Switch kick right into a side aerial. And then her gainer full twist off the side. So a little wobble there, but you know, she took advantage of what could have been a bad fall and really fought to stay up there, which this team needed in order to count that fifth score.
Taylor Pitchell will be next for Central Michigan over on the floor. Pitchell, the sophomore out of Wethersfield, Connecticut. Career high of 9.95, that occurring last weekend against Northern Illinois. Earned her MAC Specialist of the Week honors. Judges are conferring over Hannah Demers' floor exercise. Kent State will travel to DeKalb next weekend, where they'll take on the Huskies of Northern Illinois. They'll return home on March 7th. They'll take on the Cardinals of Ball State, and that is the final home meet of the regular season. They'll then travel on March 12th to Bowling Green, and then March 20th to Kalamazoo for the MAC Championships. Judges have completed their conference across the way from us.
.9775 for Cammie Klein on the balance beam. Taylor's first tumbling pass is a double back pike. Punch front layout right into a punch front full. The last pass, round off back handspring, double back tuck, good landing. Nice routine for Central Michigan.
Taylor's excited about it as fist bumps her teammates. Good
She's
performance by Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, so waiting all this time just to do one event, you know, and training really hard in that event so that you can focus on it.
Yeah, that performance last weekend against Northern Illinois, she got a 10 from one judge. It'll be interesting to see what they turn out this afternoon for Taylor. We turn our attention now back over to the balance beam to senior Abby Fletcher.
Abby's hitch kick into a front aerial, right into a beat jump. Back handspring, layout, step out.
Nice job holding on to that.
So even if she wasn't perfect in the air, you could see that she had decided she was going to keep moving through it. Work with what she's got. Switch straddle leap. Switch leg leap into a split jump. She shows a gorgeous 180-degree split in every splitting element that she does. She does that inward full turn, which is the opposite direction that most of the other gymnasts go. And then a front aerial right into a front full dismount and the finish.
A little low on the landing, but able to hold on to it. This is now Sierra DeMarinis on floor. DeMarinis also with a 9.95 last weekend against Northern Illinois. That is a career high for her.
She opens with a double back tuck. Comes back with a round off 1.5 punch front layout. finishes with a double back pike. Really difficult element to do at the end of a long routine.
For Kent State, Kennedy Weinpert would be next on the balance beam. It's like a 9.725 for Abby Fletcher.
9.725, that's correct. There's a back handspring layout step out. She had lots of power there. She did take a step back, but she did a great save there at the end. Nice full turn. Switch leg leap right into a split three-quarter jump. Straddle three-quarter, getting ready for her dismount. Kennedy finishes with a punch front full, laid out position. Good routine for her.
We are 3/4 of the way complete here this afternoon between Kent State and Central Michigan. Shannon and I will step aside for just a moment as Central Michigan will make its way to the beam. Kent State over to the floor exercise where they lead the Mid-American Conference. We'll be right back. Mike Elkins and Shannon Simmons with you here this afternoon on the campus of Kent State University inside the Mack Center in this Mid-American Conference gymnastics matchup. For Central Michigan on the floor exercise, a team score of 49.025. Another impressive performance by the Chippewas. It was Sierra DeMarinis with a 9.875. Hannah Demers with the unfortunate slip on her opening tumbling portion of that routine at 9.35. Nora Fettinger with a 9.75. Taylor Pitchell, the MAC Specialist of the Week, turning in the top score, or tying for the top score for the Chippewas with a 9.875. Ashley Veglucci with a 9.725, and Sydney Williams with a 9.8. Again, for the Chippewas on the floor, another good performance, 49.025. For the Golden Flashes, on the balance beam, it was Riley Danielson with a 9.825, Abby Fletcher with a 9.725, Jackie Harker with a 9.85, Sarah Haxton with a tremendous beam performance, 9.875, and Samantha Henry 9.3. Cammie Klein with a 9.775 for the Golden Flashes, 49.05 on the balance beam. That is a new season high for Kent State, Shannon.
Yes, they are on track for this coveted 196 finish today, and they're going into their best event, which is floor exercise. So I see them getting ready out there. There's lots of power, lots of enthusiasm, and I hope they can let that shine in this last event of the day.
Yeah, when you look at the last two events of the day, the beam and the floor exercise, the Golden Flashes hold almost a half a tenth of a point, slightly more than half a tenth of a point more over the Chippewas. So Kent State, they performs as they're able to do week in and week out. They should hit that 196 mark and improve that NQS score as they head into the latter part of the season. Central Michigan, on the other hand, this is one event that the Chippewas have struggled all year. They currently rank in the 6th position in the Mid-American Conference. On the balance beam, they're almost a half a point shy of Kent State on a team average. For Kent State, on the floor exercise, Olivia Amadei will lead things off, followed by Tashi Richard, Rachel Takavich, Carly Franz, Jade Brown, Abby Fletcher, Kennedy Weinpert, and Nasha Monacool Davis in an exhibition for the Golden Flashes. For Central Michigan on the beam, Adriana Bostello will lead things off. Amber Mueller, Ashley Viglucci, Hannah Demers, Sierra DeMarinis, Morgan Tong, Taylor Pitchell, and Nora Fettinger. Shannon, you had a chance, I think, earlier this week to maybe have some communication with some of the gymnasts of Kent State. What are their thoughts as we kind of head into the last couple of weeks of the season?
I did. I had a chance to talk to at least 3 of them after the meet on Thursday. And, you know, I wondered if they were still optimistic and in a good position because they have suffered a few losses just by fractions of a point. And so I wanted to make sure that going into the last half of the season that they knew that they were in a good place. And that was exactly what I heard from all 3 of them. They all shared that they were really excited to get into this last half of the year. They know they can compete at the MAC championship level, and they've really been spending a lot of time talking about the improvements and what they have made each week. And so they are positive, and they know that they can just gain a little confidence, do a little bit of work each week, practice in, practice out, and then perform at the MAC championships. It's going to show up in the results.
Yeah, Coach McDonald of Central Michigan is not so much focused on the results of any competition. They're results driven, and Kent State is of the same mindset. You improve week in and week out, and improve that team score, improve your individual score, and make your contribution the best contribution that you can to the team. And I think we're seeing that today out of both programs. Boy, the Mid-American Conference has much to be proud of when it comes to gymnastics.
They sure do, yes. The level of difficulty here, I think, is not surprising, but like I'm always impressed every year when we come to these meets that we can continue to see this really high level of gymnastics right here in Northeast Ohio and throughout the Mid-American Conference.
We certainly hope that next year that the doors to the MAC Center will be open and the fans can once again enjoy the great competition that Shannon is talking about. That'll wrap up the warm-up period. I'm sorry, Shannon.
That's okay. I was just going to mention about the parents, and a lot of the parents of these athletes that have traveled with them their whole lives, been through all the training and all the competitions to get to the college level. I know they're really missing watching these gymnasts in person.
We are fortunate here that Kent State allows us to bring this to you on Boxcast TV. Shannon and I with you for all of the home meets during this 2021 season. Delighted that you have decided to join us on this Sunday afternoon. I know when we got here, the sun was shining. It was a little chilly, but in Northeast Ohio, we'll take the sunshine any day. Here is Adriana Bostello for Central Michigan on the beam. Bostello with a season high of 9.725. That is also her career best.
Adriana gets that required full turn out of the way easy in her routine. Goes into a back handspring layout, step out, nice landing there. Switch leg leap into a split 3/4. Front aerial right into a beat jump. That gives her some of the bonus that she needs. She finishes her routine with a round off 1.5 twist dismount. Nice landing.
A good start for Central Michigan on the beam. Turn our attention now over to the floor exercise. This is Olivia Amadei.
Olivia's opening tumbling pass is a punch front layout right into a Rudy, 1.5 twist.
Get ready for a final tumbling pass.
Back handspring, double back tuck. That's a great start for this floor lineup.
9-7-5-0 is Adriana Bostello's beam routine. This will bring up Amber Mueller. Amber with a 9-7 on the season on the beam, competed once against Northern Illinois.
Back handspring, layout, step out. Switch leg leap into a switch half, into a beat jump. And a front aerial. She dismounts with a side aerial full off the end.
So the score that was flashed for Kent State for Olivia Amadei's performance looked to be a 9-7-5. Judges now were going to meet.
Yeah, they're coming together for a conference, so maybe there's a difference in what they calculated as the starting value for her routine.
So the near judge with a starting value of a 10. Like they've sorted it all out. And as we wait for Olivia's score, Tashi Richard, who has been phenomenal all season long and just consistent on the floor, Shannon.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Tashi. She's a senior, and she really recognizes that it's so important to be consistent. And so her goal really for this is to just go out there and be consistent, work on the details, and really try to limit any silly deductions. So she is looking for perfection.
9-8 will be the score for Olivia to start things off for Kent State. So this is Tashi Richard. Tashi Richard, the senior out of Cleveland Heights.
Tashi is known for her twisting elements. All of her tumbling includes a lot of twisting. So she's got great awareness in the air. She's going to look to land some landings that are really hard to see. Front handspring, 2.5, into up layout. Tashi has so much difficulty in her tumbling that she only does 2 tumbling passes. She's getting ready for the next one now. This is her front handspring double full. Oh, that was gorgeous. Well, I think it's going to be hard to find many deductions in that routine. Great job for Tashi.
Assistant coach Craig Ballard with a triple-double fist pump above the head. That is a stamp of approval, folks, if you've never seen one. Craig Ballard loving that routine by Tashi Richard, the senior out of Cleveland Heights.
I'd love to get the vertical jump measure out here and see what Craig's vertical jump is.
Ashley Viglucci now on the beam for Central Michigan. Viglucci with a career high of 9.85, that occurring last week against Northern Illinois on the beam. Yeah, tremendous performance by Richard.
Yeah, she does a back handspring layout to 2 feet, which is a hard landing, and she does take a fall on that. So a 9.825 for Tashi's flow routine. A side semi on the balance beam. That's an unusual element that we don't get to see very often. And she finishes with a round off double twist. Good landing.
Good finish by Ashley, and the Chippewas on the beam. Let's go back over the floor exercise. This is Rachel Takavich competing in the all-around for the Golden Flashes.
Rachel opens her floor exercise with a very difficult first pass. It's an Arabian double front, which is a blind landing, but she's got lots of power. Watch this. Nicely done today.
Yeah, Thursday stepped out of bounds slightly, but beautifully executed this afternoon.
Great splitting elements in the air. This is the fun part of her routine. She does a little hand jive here. Rachel's getting ready for her last tumbling pass. She does a front tuck, round off back handspring right into a double back.
Nicely
Awesome.
done.
That was a great one.
Rachel Takavich turning in a fine floor exercise performance, the sophomore out of Champion, Ohio. And it'll take us back over the balance beam. This is Hannah Demers. Hannah's season high on the beam is 9.725 with a career high of 9.8. That season high came at Ball State.
Hannah does a front aerial right into a back handspring layout step out. That is a very difficult tumbling series on that 4-inch wide balance beam. Switch leg leap right into a split jump, into a split quarter. Another front aerial to a one-legged landing, finished in a scale. So she's got lots of difficulty in this routine.
9-9 will be the score for Rachel Takavich on the floor exercise. Kent State applauding.
And a side aerial to a full twist dismount. Beautiful beam routine there.
Hannah competed in the all-around this afternoon. Again, the sophomore out of Canton, Michigan. Here's Carly Franz for Kent State. Carly, the sophomore out of Marysville, Michigan. Carly with a 9-9 Thursday afternoon against Western Michigan.
She opens also with this Round up back handspring, Arabian double front. Very nice.
Able to hold on to that and not step out of bounds.
Yeah, this pair of sophomores that does this incredible difficulty in this Arabian double front. It's rare to see one, and Kent State has 2 in a row in their lineup.
Carly having some fun on the floor exercise right now, enjoying the dance. Her teammates are into it, as is Coach Jose on the side.
We won't give him a score on his shuffle over there. One and a half, right into a layout step out. There's another great routine for Kent State.
Beautifully done by Carly Franz of the Golden Flashes. You know, Shanna, sometimes I take my eyes off the mat just to watch the coaches' reactions, and they're just as interesting.
They are all in it, and you know, it's just as hard for them as it is for the athlete on the floor, because they go through every routine and every skill in their mind, and it probably takes a lot out of them as well.
Here is Sierra DeMarinis on the beam. 9.85 is her career high. Best this year, 9.775 last weekend against Northern Illinois.
She opens with a back handspring layout, step out, 1 step back. Switch leg leap, into her jump.
It's like a 9.85 for Carly Franz on the floor.
Front aerial into a beat jump. She finishes with a round off, 1.5 twists. Little step forward on her landing, but nice routine.
Here's Jade Brown, who recorded a 9.925 Thursday afternoon right here at the Mack Center against Western.
Jade is such a powerful tumbler. We're going to get to see this in the very first tumbling pass here. It's a huge double back pike. Switch leg leap into a popa. Punch front layout, 1.5.
Nicely done.
Getting ready for the last tumbling pass of her routine. Watch how strong this is. Round up back handspring, double back, way up in the air. Easy for her.
Yeah, stuck that landing. Not the slightest of a step back. And a great performance by Jade Brown, the grad student here at Kent State, coming back for one more year of gymnastics for the Golden Flashes. She is all smiles on the floor right now, getting fist bumps and elbow bumps by her teammates. What a joy to watch Jade Brown. This is Morgan Tong now on the balance beam.
Beautiful press handstand mount. That's rare to see.
She recorded a career high on February 5th at Bowling Green of a 9.9.
She does a front aerial right into a back handspring, layout, step out. Difficult tumbling pass. Switch leg leap right into a quarter. Morgan does a side aerial right into a full for her dismount. Great routine.
9.825, I believe, will be the score forthcoming for Jade Brown. 9.825. That will bring up Abby Fletcher.
Abby is the anchor of this great floor lineup. She's a senior, and every time she gets out on the floor, it's so fun to watch her very first tumbling pass.
Abby averaging 9.89 on the season with a season high 9.925. She is first in the Mid-American Conference on floor exercise.
Double layout, open hips, so big. So hard to do that open position with your hips because you just slows down your rotation, and you have to have so much power and height in order to go around 2 times in the air. Abby's next pass is a 1.5 to a full. Oh no. Didn't quite get enough rotation on that one, and she did sit down on it. So that's unusual performance for Abby, but the good thing about that is she was the last one in that 6-person lineup, and those 5 scores in front of her were really, really good. So that mistake is not going to hurt the team score.
Here is Taylor Pitchell. I believe this is an exhibition for Central Michigan.
Yes, Taylor opens her routine with a back handspring, layout, step out. Really solid on her landing. Pitch kick into a switch side. Standing front tuck. Takes a lot of power for that skill. She ends her routine with a gainer full off the side. One little step there on that landing.
Here is Kennedy Weinpert now for Kent State in an exhibition on the floor. Weinpert, the freshman again out of Mentor.
Kennedy's opening tumbling pass, round off back handspring, double back pike. Beautiful landing. She's really a great example of the depth of this team, and that coming in as a freshman, she's got a lot to offer this program, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, we talked about that in the opening match against Bowling Green here at the Mac Center, and how deep and how talented this squad is, and the future is bright for Kent State University over the next several years now. And Kendall Gilbert, who is a freshman who is out for the season because of an injury that occurred a couple of weeks ago, is a bright spot for Kent State.
Yeah, she really came out guns a-blazing on vault and floor, and I know that it'll be great to get her back in the lineup next year. Kennedy's getting ready for her last tumbling pass. She does another one of these round effect handspring double back tucks. Had to really work to get around on that, but she did what she needed to and got to her feet.
We'll go back over to balance beam now. This is Nora Fettinger for Central Michigan. Nora, the senior out of Hemlock, Michigan.
Nora did a handstand, one-armed back handspring right into a layout step out, but she was a little bit off to the side. You have to be exactly down the line when you're going to do just a one-armed element on the beam. Handstand layout, step out right into a full twist dismount. A lot of unique elements in her beam routine.
Well, this will bring on the senior, Nasha Monocle Davis. Nasha, the senior out of Greenwood, Indiana. Boy, it's good to see her on the floor exercise again. Again, this is an exhibition for the Golden Flashes.
Nasha opens with a double back pike. Beautifully done today. She's got a very unique dance style. She loves to dance. She's going to show it off here. Punch front layout right into a front full. Beautiful split in the air. Finishing up this routine. Round effect handspring, double back tuck. Oh, a little bit low on her landing.
Nasha getting the support from her teammates. And that'll wrap up competition here this afternoon at the Mac Center. We're going to go over the finals in both the floor exercise and the beam for both Central Michigan, Kent State, and then we will review the top award winners in each area of competition. For Central Michigan on the balance beam, a team score of 48.85. We'll go through the individual scores real quick. For Central Michigan, Adriana Bustello on the beam, 9.75. Sierra Demeritis, 9.675. Hannah Demers, 9.875. Amber Mueller, 9.725. Morgan Tong, 9.825. And Ashley Beglucci, 9-3. Central Michigan with a team score of 48.85 on the balance beam. For the Golden Flashes on the floor exercise, Olivia Amadei with a 9.8, Jade Brown with a 9.825, Rachel DeCavich with a 9.9, Abby Fletcher with a 9.2. She had that unfortunate fall at the end of her routine and her final tumbling pass. Carly Franz with a 9.85, and Tashi Richard, who's been consistent all season long for the Golden Flashes, with a 9.825. Kent State on the floor as a team scoring 49.2. Kent State will win this match 196.375 to 195.850. And Shannon, there's the coveted 196 mark. We finally reached it.
Yes, they've been working towards that the last few meets, and they continued their progress today. And to actually see I think it was maybe more of a feeling than actually seeing it. I feel the presence of Rudy here, and I feel the presence of the greatness of Kent State Gymnastics. And I think that really helped the girls today.
Yeah, it certainly did. Let's go through the individual results on the vault. It was in third place, Cammie Klein of Kent State with a 9.825. Tied for second place, Central Michigan's Sierra Demarinis and Hannah Demers, each with a 9.85. And top performer, top scorer in the vault this afternoon is Katie Kowalski of Central Michigan with a 9.875. In the bars, tied for third place, Kent State's Jade Brown, Madison Iannuzzo, and Olivia Amadei, each with a 9.825. Central Michigan's Adriana Hammond and Hannah Demers in second place with a 9.85. And top scorer in the bars from Kent State, Rachel DeCavich with a 9.9. The balance beam results. In third place, it is Riley Danielson, tied with Central Michigan's Morgan Tong, 9.825. In second place would be Jackie Harker, Kent State, 9.85. And tied for the top spot in the balance beam, Sarah Haxton of Kent State and Hannah Demers of Central Michigan, 9.875. And the floor exercise. In third place is Carly Franz of the Golden Flashes, 9.85. Tied for second place, Taylor Pitchell and Sierra Demarinis of Central Michigan with a 9.875, and Rachel DeCavich of the Golden Flashes with a 9.9. In the all-around results this afternoon, Hannah Demers in second place with a 38.925, and Sierra Demarinis comes out on top this afternoon in the all-around competition with a 39.125. So congratulations to the Golden Flashes and their victory here this afternoon over Central Michigan. They improved their NQS score. And final thoughts about Rudy. I think what you said just a minute and it just kind of spoke to what I was thinking and feeling. Is it like Rudy was here this afternoon cheering on his Golden Flashes?
Yeah, I think he's got to be proud of what he built and what will continue on for a long time to come. Those gymnasts that went on to create the gyms and the facilities that the girls train in now is going to continue, and the sport is so much better because we know Rudy Bachna.
Yeah, not only are we missing Rudy, but we just also want to mention real quick that it's so good to have the PA voice of the Golden Flashes here this afternoon for this special day as we reflect on Rudy and his life and his contributions to the Kent State community, and that's Jeff Kurtz. It's as we had mentioned earlier this afternoon before the meet started, it's like, boy, it feels like the whole team is together, and COVID-19 has certainly changed a lot of things in the country, but the one thing that hasn't changed is the spirit of competition.
Yeah, it's so good to be a part of it and see it, and I hope all the viewers at home can continue to cheer on this team and continue to support this great sport of gymnastics.
Kent State will travel to DeKalb, Illinois next weekend as they'll take on the Huskies, and Shannon and I will be with you again on March 7th as the Golden Flashes will take on the Cardinals of Ball State. That is 1 p.m. start time. So for Shannon Simmons, I am Mike Elkin signing off here this afternoon from Kent State. Once again, the final, Kent State 196.375, Central Michigan 195.85. Have a good weekend, everybody.